Hey guys, how you doing? It's Wednesday, cooking dinner. Thought I'd bring you along like we tried to do every Wednesday. I really like cooking with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Um, so tonight we're gonna make stuffed shells. We're gonna stuff them with chicken and I like a shredded chicken that's also got some stuffing in it and some other things. It's a meal that my mom used to make when we were kids growing up, and we had it maybe once every couple of weeks. It's a kind of a classic 70s dish, early 80s dish that involves a lot of canned goods. It's some basic stuff, so you can pick up at any grocery store. So you can almost make it anywhere. Some stuff you can make from scratch, although this would be a really time-consuming meal to make from scratch. Because you could make your own sour cream. You could make your own, shells I don't know if you could make on your own. Well, sure you could if you had like the machine that made shells. But the stuffing that's in it, you could make from scratch if you really wanted to. But this is kind of a Monday through Friday meal. When you get home from work, you're not, full of energy and it's late, you're tired. It's pretty quick. It does by quick. It still takes an hour, but most of that time is going to be in the oven. As always, I have the recipe written down for us. And it starts with 2 pounds of boneless chicken breasts, or you can use thighs. Either way, or a combination of both. But it's 2 pounds of chicken. Tonight we're using breasts. I've already got them going because you want to boil them to cook them because we're going to shred it. It's already going on the stove top. To get it cooked enough to shred, about 20 minutes. That'll cook it through enough. Or you can use canned chicken. If you want to buy a can of chicken at the store, or if you can your own chicken like we do, you can use that. I didn't tonight because I wanted to show you the shredding and all that stuff on how to do it. But like I said, if you're running, end of the day, tired, you've got a can of shredded chicken, use it. Or if you've canned some chicken, you can use that. But it's 2 pounds worth at any rate. Chicken, cooked, no matter what. We're doing 8 ounces of sour cream. Now the small containers of sour cream are usually 8 ounces. We don't buy the small containers because we use sour cream. So I've got 8 ounces of sour cream right here. You're going to do 1 box of chicken stuffing, or we've actually used the cornbread flavored stuffing also. Right here, this happens to be the Kroger brand. Use whatever brand you like, whatever's available. Or like I said, you can always make your own. I don't offhand know what seasonings you would need, but if you've got some stale bread laying around, make some wonderful stuffing. We make our own croutons, stuffing. Or if you just got croutons laying around with some chicken powder, stuffing. So we're gonna we gotta make the stuffing up. Now with that stuffing, where it says add water, I use chicken broth. I had an open jar of chicken broth that we used from the French onion chicken last week. So that open quart, I'm gonna use the rest of it for this. So 1 box of the chicken or cornbread stuffing mix, either one. 8 ounces of mozzarella, which my mozzarella is still in the fridge in a brick form. Let me see offhand. There it is. Ugh. Now, like I've said in previous videos, we don't buy pre-shredded. If you buy pre-shredded, that's awesome. But we have a 2 pound block, so you'll need about a quarter of this. It's 32 ounces, so a quarter would be 8, 16, 24, 32. Quarter of a block. If you buy the 1 pound blocks, it's a half a block. If you buy the bags of pre-shredded cheese, it would be a half a bag. Because they're usually 1 pound, 1 pound, 16 ounces. So you'll need that. You'll need 1 box of the large shells. Now, I don't have a box to show you per se, because we keep all our noodles in a Tupperware type container. This one happens to be a Rubbermaid It's a big one because the shells are big and they get even bigger when you cook them. But that's what the shells look like, and you want large shells. They come in like 8 different sizes. Get the biggest ones you can find. So you're going to need 1 box of those, which is about 15 shells in a box. That's more than a box. That's more like a box and a half, maybe even 2 boxes. I honestly don't know. So if you run into that situation, what do? Chris actually told me she's the one that's made this the last few times. It's been years since I have made this. It's about 15 shells is what a box is. So you've got that, and then the last couple of things you need, honestly, like I said, this is a really easy as far as what you need recipe. 2 cans of cream of chicken. Use any kind of cream of chicken you want. If you make your own from powder, it would be, once you add your water to it, it would be about 21 ounces of cream of chicken. And then the very last thing you need on this is 16 ounces of water. Like I said, I'm using chicken broth in place of it, but we can use water. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah. Say hi. Say hey. And, but we're going to use 16 ounces of chicken broth. So how do I know for sure that's 16 ounces when it comes in a quart jar? Well, per the canning video I just put out, this one here, even though it is a pressure canning jar because it has a label on it, it doesn't have any markings. So I used my scale. Scales are, man, if you're going to cook, a scale is like one of the most important things. I can't reiterate that enough. But that is the extent of what we need ingredient-wise. You know, so we're down to basically 2 chicken breasts in this case, but 2 pounds of chicken, 8 ounces of sour cream, 1 box of cornbread or chicken stuffing mix, your choice. Mozzarella cheese, your choice. You can either buy it by the block and shredded or buy pre-shredded. 1 box of large shells, noodle shells. 2 cans of cream of chicken and 16-ounce can of water. 16 ounces worth of water, or essentially 2 of these cans. Will get you about 16 ounces. Or you can substitute with chicken broth. You're going to, and I'll tell you what we're going to do and what you have to do next. Okay, so you're going to kind of do a lot of things at once. You're going to boil your chicken. I've got my chicken boiling right here, which we got about another 15 minutes on. Turn that down a little bit so we don't overflow. I've already made my stuffing mix. It's back here in the back in a red container. And it's really easy. Just follow the instructions on the side of the box or the back of the box. And now I'm currently boiling my water to do my noodles, which you want your noodles to not be completely done. I want to say I'm going to boil mine for about 5 minutes. And then once it's all done and cooled, because we're going to have to, once the chicken's done boiling for 20 minutes, I'm going to have to take it out and let it cool. The stuffing's already made. I'm just letting it cool, but you want to keep it moist, so keep the lid on it like the directions say. And then the noodles, once they get done, once this water comes up to a boil, I get them in there. I'll let them boil for 5 minutes. I'll pull them out, and then I'm going to cover them. I'll put them back in the container, but I'm going to cover them so they'll stay moist. And then I want them to cool enough that I can handle them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back once the chicken is done, because the noodles will be done before the chicken. And we'll shred up the chicken real quick. Or I'll get everything cooked, get the chicken shredded. I'm going to have to let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. I'll get it shredded. I showed you how to shred it and a few videos back. Just you can use a couple forks, or I'm actually going to use my hash knife again and see how, keep practicing with that so I can get good at it. Every tool you own, you should practice with and get good at it. And then when we come back, I'll show you how to put this all together. All right? I'll see you here in about, it'll be just like a millisecond for you guys. But I'll see you back here in about a half hour or so. Or like I said, millisecond for you guys. All right? Be right back. All right, guys. I'm back. I know it took forever, right? Like a whole millisecond. But here's where we're at. All right, so we boiled our chicken. We made our stuffing out of the box. We boiled our noodles. And they are now nice and pliable and flexible, and but not completely. I mean, they're not mushy, not by any means. You don't want them to be completely mushy. Here's why. So, with your noodles, we're going to put them in a pan, which I'll show you here in a second, and they're going to get covered with a sauce and cheese, so they'll still collect moisture. And if you cook them too mushy, then they could run the risk of just falling apart and becoming part of the sauce. So you don't want that. All right, so we got some practice in with the hatch knife, and I now have a nice big bowl, 2 pounds worth of shredded chicken. So next thing we need to do, all right, here's where it goes quick. And I'm glad Chris pointed out, yes, you can use canned chicken with this, which saves you a whole lot of time. It'll literally just be the 5 minutes you need, 10 minutes you need for the stuffing. And the noodles, I actually had to boil for about 7 to 8 minutes to get them pliable. I guess just follow the directions on the back of your box for al dente is the best bet. So the next thing we need to do is come over here and grab our stuffing, which, like I said, is just the chicken stuffing. Follow the box directions to make. And then it can sit and cool a little bit because you're going to want to handle this. But right there it is, stuffing. Like I said, I made mine with the chicken bone broth and butter. That's literally all it is. It's, if you're making it straight from the box directions, it's water, like a cup and a quarter of water, and a half a stick of butter. All right, so we put the stuffing in there with the shredded chicken. Got that together. The last thing we need to put into this is the sour cream. Get the sour cream in there. And I mean, really, it's like comes down to 3 ingredients that go into the stuffing. It's sour cream, stuffing, and stuffing for the stuffing, and shredded chicken. And then we're going to mix this together. So while I'm mixing this, wanted to share a cool story about something that happened to a friend of mine. Well, I mean, it wasn't a cool story to start with. It actually was kind of a sad story to start with, but it had so far a very cool ending. And this shows a random act of kindness, which is great. So a friend of mine that I used to work with, that I'm good friends with, her mom, who they had kind of an interesting relationship, but it was getting better. And as when she was talking to her earlier this week, she talked to her that night, and the next day she finds out that her mom is in the hospital with a brain aneurysm. So she's fine. She's in the hospital. At least she was doing fine last I heard. But her mom is in Texas, lives in Texas. We live in Ohio. Well, she went to work. I found out about it that morning, and she went to work that morning and was trying to figure out what to do when one of her coworkers that she's become real close with said, I've got airline miles saved up that I've not used, and I would like to buy you a plane ticket so you can go see your mom in Texas. This woman did not have to do this, but she did because she felt it was the right thing to do. Random act of kindness. Tell me that isn't amazing. And like I said, so far, yeah, it's tragic that her mom's in the hospital, hands down, and I pray for her, every night when we go to bed. But like I said, as far as I heard as of yesterday, day before, her mom was okay. She was in the hospital. She's she survived her aneurysm. But the fact she got down there to see her mom was absolutely awesome. So I thought I would share that with you because I thought that was amazing what that lady did for her, what her friend did for her at her work. All right, so we got this all mixed up and together. Looking like that, mixed up. Looks just like something you would stuff. So the next thing we need is to make some room because I'm really limited on kitchen space. I'm telling you, when we finally get our house and I get to make my own kitchen, me and Chris are going to design our own kitchen from the ground up. I'm literally going to gut the kitchen, and we're going to start over. So, next thing you need, the recipe calls for a 9x13 pan. This is actually probably an 11x14-ish. It's a bigger pan at any rate. I have a 9x13 on standby in case I need the room. So the next thing we're going to do, this is awesome stuff. I am going to use a scoop. This is actually a cookie scoop for doing cookie balls when you're making cookies. You can use an ice cream scoop. You can use your hands, whatever you would like to do. So, but I find it easier just to use this cookie scoop. And I'm going to stuff these shells. Now, I did end up making more than 15 shells, only because, hey, these ones look really small for some reason, and I'm using a bigger pan. Now, this pan here is lined with aluminum foil. It's a really weird aluminum pan. It's one of our bigger pans, and everything likes to stick to it for whatever reason. I would still recommend if you use a pan, when you use your pan, I mean, you can line it with foil if you want, or if you want, you can spray it down with cooking spray, or use butter, just like if you were going to bake a pie. That way, yeah, I'm not going to say it won't stick because we're going to dump cheese all over this, but it may not stick as much. And you run a better chance of at cleanup. That's why foil is great for cleanup. Okay, so I'm literally just going to put all these shells, open up all these shells because they've curled a little, stuff them full of this stuffing, and stuff them full, like such, full, as you can get it. And then after that, we will take it from there. All right, so when I come back, I will have all these stuffed. I am sure you don't want to sit here and watch me stuff a bunch of shells. That just sounds really boring. And listen to me ramble, which, I mean, I know I personally love to hear me ramble, but not everybody does. Even Chris gets tired of it, usually goes in the living room. So, that being said, I'm going to stuff these remaining shells. We'll see how many shells it takes. And, well, I'll show you the next couple steps, and we'll talk about what you can do if you have leftover stuffing or leftover noodles. All right, see you here in just 1 millisecond. All right, guys, so I'm back. All right, so the shells thing, I kind of became a guessing game. I'm going to tell you, if you're using a 9x13 pan, go with about 20 shells or one box. One box will cover it. Since I have mine in an open box and we're using a bigger pan, it was a little different. And you should be able to stuff them full. But it's right around 22 shells, I think total, 20 shells total if you want some space. But that's what they should look like when you get done stuffing them. It literally takes 5 minutes. So, where are we at so far? We, tonight, boiled chicken, which took 20 minutes. We made stovetop stuffing, well, Kroger brand chicken stuffing. That took all of like maybe 10 minutes, which I made while I was boiling that, and I boiled the noodles, which took 7 minutes. So, when it comes down to brass tacks, if you use canned chicken, follow the directions on the stuffing mix, follow the direction on your noodle box, and make the entire box of big shells, large shells. You are now to the point where you're ready to mix and stuff. So we have mixed and stuffed. So, what's the next step? We're down to a couple steps. Before I forget, because I seem to be forgetting anything, which quick update, went to the doctor today, had blood work done, and we're going to find out if I'm crazy or not. Oven, 325 degrees, preheating. Start that before you start mixing your stuffing and your chicken and your sour cream. Turn your oven on, 325 degrees, get it warming up, because you're going to want that to happen. All right, so we've got stuffed. Oven's warming up. Last thing we need to do to mix is our cream of chicken. 2 cans of cream of chicken. Maybe if I can get it out of there. There we go. There's the I got air behind it sound. 1 can. 2 cans. Let me get a spatula so I can scrape all this out. Waste not, want not. All right, so we were just discussing if you have leftover shells, what can you do with them? I was coming up with some crazy nonsense with stuffing with ricotta. If you got ricotta, throw some sauce over them, save them for tomorrow lunch. Chris said, no, Brian, that's just too much work, and I agree with her. And, I mean, let's be honest, noodles aren't that expensive. And after the first time you make this, if you write down in your recipe sheet how many noodles exactly you used, you'll know, and you'll never overdo it again. But one box of noodles, they're like $1. I mean, let's be honest. So if you ever use some, just throw the remaining 2 or 3 away. I had like 4 I threw away, 4 or 5 I had to pitch because I made 4 or 5 too many. So now, as far as the stuffing goes, if you happen to have extra stuffing, we did not. At 29 shells, 30 shells, something like that, we had exactly enough stuffing for it. But if you had leftover stuffing, what could you do with it? Well, I mean, in reality, you could refrigerate it, and it would be no different than having a really fancy shredded chicken sandwich, in my opinion, at any rate. So, 2 cans of cream of chicken. We're going to pour our chicken broth in there. Got that in there. Mix this up real good. By the way, this really cool big stainless steel bowl came in a set of 3. Don't know if I showed them to you guys earlier. Got them at the thrift store for, honest to God, like $4 for the entire set. You can't really beat that. So we love the thrift store shop. I'm going to grab a whisk real quick, make this go a little quicker. So, prep time, I mean, really, if you do like if you can your own chicken and use that, or if you buy canned chicken, which is something my mom would have done, she would have just bought canned chicken. I don't see her taking the time or having the time after she'd get home from work at 6 o'clock in the evening to hit a pot and boil chicken and all that. I don't see that happening. That just wasn't, she was usually, by the time she got done working and got home and dealing with 3 to 4 kids, she was tired. So, can of shredded chicken, 2 pounds worth of shredded canned chicken, or if you can your own chicken, 2 pounds worth of chicken. You know, the stuffing, like I said, takes no time. It comes in a box. It's really quick to make. The longest part you got on that is getting the water and the butter to boil. Then you dump the contents of the box in it, put a lid on it, and let it sit for 5 minutes. It's done. Noodles, 5 to 7 minutes until they're pliable enough but soft enough you can stuff them. Stuff it, going together. So far, in reality, if I wouldn't have done it the hard way, you might have 15 minutes into this. All right, so we got that all taken care of. We got it all mixed together real nice. We're going to dump this over top of it. You want to make sure you get some on every little bit of it. Samantha, who are you having a conversation with, Sunshine? There's nobody here. It's just us chickens. I promise. I got the back door open because it's actually fairly nice outside, and I've been boiling stuff, so this kitchen is a little warm to go with. So, after we get that put on there, and evenly, I mean, at least as even as possible. I mean, it fills it up pretty good. Set that there. I don't know if you can see it or not. There we go. See, it's covered it all really nice, gotten down into the cracks and crevices. So the next thing we're going to do, sorry, I got you moved around all out of whack. So the next thing, last thing, the only thing we have left to do before we put it in the oven, remember that half a pound or 16 or 8 ounces of mozzarella or half a pound of mozzarella? Right here we are. You just got to put this on top. So what this does is, the cheese. What the cheese ultimately does is it kind of creates a barrier which keeps all your chicken soup basically from evaporating off. Allows it to finish cooking those noodles. Gives it a good flavor. and it just makes it awesome. Like I said, this really is. This is an easy recipe. I know I'm sure I've made it difficult, but as I often can do. Yeah. Yep, there went the oven. It's ready to go. Like I said, oven at 325. It doesn't take long to preheat because it's not a very, I mean, that's not like incredibly hot or anything. Well, I mean, 325 would burn your face. But as far as cooking goes, it's not quite that hot. So now that we've got that done, we're literally going to stick this in the oven for about 45 minutes. So your total cook time might be about, total between prep and cooking, about an hour and 10 minutes. You know, but like I said, 45 minutes of that's going to be in the oven. What you're looking to do, because everything here is pretty much cooked. You know, there's nothing raw in this other than the cheese, and cheese you can eat cold. So what you're looking to do basically is melt this cheese, and give it time for everything to kind of marinate together and become friends, and get a good brown on this cheese. You may even get away with about a half hour, but your chicken's already cooked. Yeah, we boiled it. Your stuffing's done. Your noodles are al dente, so they won't take but another 5 minutes in this bath in the oven. So we're looking to brown the cheese, but I'm going to say around 45 minutes, 35 to 45 minutes in the oven, and it should be good to go. You want to place it in the center of the oven, you know. That way it gets a nice, good, even cook. And we'll discuss oven racks another day. All right, so there we are. Got it in the oven. What am I going to do for the next, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes? Well, first I'm going to set my timer so that way I know where I'm at. Because there is nothing worse than not remembering to set your timer, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, holy crap, what time did I put that in the oven? That's just not good, because then you have to guess, pay a little more attention. It's not nothing wrong. I mean, it happens. Yeah, you just have to watch your food really closely, and when it starts to get that nice, you know, color that you like on there, you'll know it's done. So, things you could probably do different to this. I didn't vary it from the recipe. I mean, like I said, it was something my mom used to make for us, and I like it just the way it is in this case. But you could always add things to the stuffing. You could add some onion. You could add some jalapeno. I love jalapeno. You could add mushrooms. Even with the sauce, you could add stuff to the cream of chicken, if that's something you like. Any vegetable, you know, or some spices. You may like some paprika in that. Paprika would be good, or even some garlic salt, garlic powder. I don't add any salt to this, only because the condensed soup is, for us, is really salty. And, you know, so is the stuffing. I mean, those things are, with them being prepackaged with preservative, have a fair amount of salt in them. So we don't add salt. So you could add salt, make it once, and if you think it needs more, you can always add salt and pepper to it as you eat it. Or the next time, if you like it and you want to make it the second time, add a little more to it. You know, this is probably one of the few dishes we don't add Red River Ranch to. You can, I mean, but you can add anything you want to it. Italian seasoning, chives, white pepper, whatever your taste and spice is, run with it. All right, so anyhow, I'm gonna let this cook, or bake. In this case, it is casserole. Well, it's kind of a casserole. We'll let it bake, let the cheese get all ooey gooey, and when it's done, I'll pop it out of the oven. We'll take a look at it and see how she tastes. All right, I'll see you here in just a second. All right, guys, so we're back. It's been 45 minutes, well, about 42 and a half, and it is done, nice and golden brown. So we'll go ahead and pull it out of the oven, take a look at it, see what we got going on. All right, there is our finished product prior to eating. Now, just like any protein, anything else, when you pull it out of the oven, let that bad boy settle. Don't try to eat it straight out of the oven. Even 325 degrees, even though it's a lower temperature to bake on or cook with, it's still blazing hot and will burn your mouth. In the background, you might hear Mudbrucker live stream. He's discussing cast iron, as always. which is great. He's talking about different sizes, what their uses are. Yeah, he just got done talking about 14-inch pans and then the small collectible ones. And then he was showing off, these are so cool. I really want one. I will have to start searching for them and see what they cost. They're little toy wooden stoves, but they're really made of cast iron and they're functional. Although I don't know any kid that I would let play with one, at least not nowadays. But they're functional. You can even find them with little cast iron Dutch ovens and pans and stuff like that. It's really cool. So anyhow, wanted to share that. Something cool we did today. We canned up some more of the flavored mushrooms with the vinegar in them. We use them to cook with to add a lot. Man, they've got so much flavor. They're unreal. Next time we make some, I'm actually going to film it so you guys can see it. Tomorrow, well, I don't know if it'll come out tomorrow, but tomorrow I am going to can some baked beans. I'm going to make baked beans from scratch. I will tape it, though, so you guys can see it. I think it's a really neat process. I've never personally made them, but I watched them be made from another channel. It was Carol's Thrifty Chic Housewife. Her channel, the Thrifty Chic Housewife. She made them, and they're called her baked beans better than Bush's baked beans. So we'll see. I like all the ingredients in it so far. So we're going to try those out. And the cool thing about canning stuff is you can try it before you can it. That way you'll know if you like it or not. And we're going to do that. So that'll be the thing for tomorrow. All right, well, let this rest for about 10 minutes. If even that, and then when I come back, we'll plate some and see how it tastes. All right, I'll see you here in just a second. All right, guys, so I let it cool for 10 minutes. Let's break into it and see what we got. Here, so bring it down a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing and not just my pretty face. Although I personally believe that my pretty face is all anybody ever needs to see, but then, hey, what do I know? All right, so pull that out. Got that cheese rolling off of it, which is always awesome. I love mozzarella. It's like the stringiest stuff ever. Grab me a couple shells out of here. Now, this meal could easily feed a family of 5, 6. Things you could side it with. You could do rice. You could do vegetables. Those are pretty much standard things in our house. But you could even just do a nice salad with it. A nice simple salad with some carrots and cucumbers and whatever you like in your salad. Homemade croutons. And homemade croutons, by the way, last forever in a Tupperware container. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Got that cheese is so nice and golden brown on top. It is absolutely crazy how good that looks. All right, so I like to use my fingers. For a long time, forks were kind of unacceptable in most countries. They were under the firm belief that God or Mother Nature, whoever you believe in, gave you fingers. Those were your natural forks. But there's what she looks like right there. It's got lots of gooey cheese, some noodles. I got a little bit of stuffing in that one, but stuffing can be a little hard to catch with the sauce. Let's see how we got her going on.
Yeah, the little skillets here are really a lot for decoration.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So,
But you could cook an egg.
on a couple side notes, this was the first time we used chicken broth instead of the water that normally goes with it, and chicken broth in the stuffing. And it really added a lot of flavor to it. An abnormal amount of flavor to it, I think. Yeah. But, I mean, it's good even with the water. Don't get me wrong. This is kind of a tried and true recipe, at least for my family, my family and my aunt who my mom got the recipe off of. Like I said, and this recipe's got to be better half 50 years old. So, it's good. But it's always, we always made it with water. But I thought, ooh, let's kick it up a notch and add some of that chicken broth that we made because I had some in the fridge and wanted to go back. So that definitely, I recommend using chicken broth instead of water if you have it available. If not, water's just fine. Don't run out and buy chicken broth if you don't have it. Most of this other stuff you've probably got in your kitchen. Almost every kitchen in America's got cream of chicken. Most kitchens got a box of stuffing of some sort. If you don't have chicken, that's fine. Like I said, we had cornbread stuffing. You could probably even get away with turkey, for that matter. But and if there's things you like that aren't in this, put them in. Make it your own. Like I said, everything I cook on Wednesday nights is like a base recipe for you. Change it, make it your own, or keep it the same. I don't care either way. But I like to change up recipes to suit us. All right. Well, I'm going to finish watching Mudrucker. We're going to eat some supper in the process. And take it from there. Hope you try this recipe. Let me know if you do. You can find me on Facebook. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you change it. Let me know what you do with it. If anything at all. But let me know. All right? I'm going to go eat. I love you guys. I hope you enjoy your dinner. And I will talk to you later. Oh, sneaky. Tell somebody else you love them also. It will make their day a whole lot better. All right? I love you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.